Good morning. It's definitely cold this morning. I am not properly layered for the cold. It's been up and down for the past couple of weeks. It was really cold there for a little bit, and then it went up to the high 70s, almost low 80s. We had that for a couple of weeks, so we were able to get a lot of stuff done. It was really nice. It felt like fall, early spring again, but last night it dipped down into the 20s, and it seems like it's going to stay there for right now. We did have little piglets born. They're just a few days old. We were actually planning on them to be born sometime around Christmas time, but evidently we got our dates wrong, or she didn't take that time and took a separate time. We are now blessed with 7 little piglets. We had an 8th one, but he did not make it. Nothing stood out as to why he didn't make it, but it seems that he may have come out that way, or he couldn't get the sack away from his nose enough. Not sure. She had him in the middle of the night when we were asleep, and we found him in the morning. So she's done good though. 7 really healthy little piglets. We're gonna end up keeping 2 and figuring out what the plan is for the rest of them. So we're excited about that. That's gonna be a fun time. We also had cute little baby puppies, which I'm sure you're excited to see, and we'll probably get to see at some point in this video. We just had a busy time, and it was good to take some time off and enjoy those things, but it was also a little nerve-wracking. So it's a new season, so we've got a little bit of time before we need to really start planting things and getting some things in the ground or getting things started. So we've been taking this time to prep the new garden spaces that we have, and then we're getting ready to prep the big garden space that we are expanding upon this year. We're getting a ton of wood chips, so I'm gonna go get a ton of wood chips today. And I've been trying to learn on my time off some things that I want to implement into the garden this year. That's going to be my main focus, is that massive garden. We're taking a break from some of the animals that are here on this homestead and really just focusing hard on growing the vegetable side of it. So I've been trying to grow some lactobacillus bacteria, and so that way that can be used to make better compost and basically just spray it on the garden in different ways. Make some green fertilizer from the comfrey that we have and the rabbit poo that we have, and help break that down in a more efficient manner. So I'm going to keep an eye on that, but really need to get the covers off of them and start getting them covered with the wood chips. So hopefully they'll start breaking down just a smidge, and we're going to introduce some of those lactobacillus bacteria on top to kind of help with that process. I'm looking forward to it, and I think it's going to be a big season. one truckload done. I'm a little out of breath. I've been doing this for a little while now. We've done a bunch of stuff over here that I'm going to talk to you about in just a minute, but a little out of breath because it's a lot. It's really a lot, but you know what? It's okay. We priced this stuff out. We were gonna have it delivered from the same place we get the compost that we use, but it was just easier for me to fill the truck bed up by myself and drop it off at the house. I paid $10 for a truckload, and I think it came out somewhere between $20 and $30 per cubic yard at the other place, and this was $10 for, this is almost 2 cubic yards right here, almost 2 cubic yards. So it's significantly cheaper. I'm not obviously counting in my time and my travel. I am doing a little bit of my gas because it's hard to just use the truck only for this to calculate gas when I use it every day, but it is, you know, cheaper in the long run to do it this way. That being stated, there's a lot to put wood chips on this year because I'm going to cover both garden beds, and that is the equivalent of 3,700 square feet or a little bit more. So I'll show you what that looks like here. And then we're also covering up the flower bed that we're putting in, and we also covered up the herb garden and the tea garden that we were putting in. So there's just a lot of wood chips to be hauling around. All right, so over here is gonna probably be the summer garden and the spring, like late spring, summer, maybe some late fall over here. And then this is the new garden space, and this is going to be the early spring and the late fall. And both of these need to be covered. And then also this area here, which is the hedgerow, that needs to be covered in mulch. So there's a lot of mulch to go in. From what I calculated, from the point all the way over here to this corner, it's about 9 truckloads. So that's 1 truckload. So if I could get a third done today, that would be fantastic, but I don't know if that's actually going to happen. 2 will actually happen, but 3 might be pushing it. This is the flower garden that we're going to be putting in. This is half of it. The other half goes around that way to the house. We did get that covered the way I want to get it covered, and then all the way over there by the barn, we're going to have the tea garden and the herb garden, and I'm sure we'll show you that at a later date. But the main focus, like I said, is going to be on this garden. Putting in a lot of labor this year. Putting in a lot of labor. So we picked up some wood from the place that we get the wood chips from. They also cut firewood for people, and you can come and pick up like 50 pieces for 20 bucks, which for the area is pretty decent. I mean, that's a pretty good steal as far as getting firewood goes. But we ended up getting some firewood because just like we put pigs on the ground this month, we're actually going to be putting 2 of our pigs in the freezer that we've been growing for the past about 18 months. So that's going to be really exciting. We have a group of friends coming up from Virginia. They're going to be here to talk about how to do it, teaching some other people that are coming to the event that want to learn how to process their own pork. I know there's a couple of people who want to raise kuni specifically, so this is really going to help them out and pretty much determine if they really want to do it on their own or if they want to take it somewhere else. So we're looking really forward to that, but we need the firewood to basically get the scalder up to temp and get that going. So if we need to get more wood, we'll get more wood, but I think this should be enough. We'll see though. Not 100% sure. This is the first time for us doing this, so it's kind of like a, I don't want to say wing it, but when they say get a lot of firewood, I'm not exactly sure what that means. So it's a learning process for us. It's definitely going to be a learning experience. But as I've stated in other videos before, I've gone to their house, I've processed pigs at their house before, but those were 400, 500, 600 pound pigs, and they're not our smaller heritage breed kuni pigs. So I'm not quite sure what this whole process is going to look like, but I will be filming it and I will be putting together a video for that, which is good. It'll be very entertaining, I think. It'll be a good learning experience for us. I'm sure that we'll get a lot out of it, and I'm hoping that it will give a lot of information and a lot of experience to the people who are looking to possibly do this on their own. This is our first time processing our own pigs, so definitely a good experience grabber for us as well. And hopefully we'll be able to transfer that over to many other people as we continue to do this. But I'm excited. I mean, we haven't had pork in our freezer in a long time. The only other pork that we've had in our freezer here at this house is we got kuni from another gentleman before we even started all of this, to make sure that that was what we wanted to really do. And it's pretty tasty, so I think we're going to be doing this for a really long time. But it would be really cool to have our own pork in our own freezer, and be able to tell that story. Be able to tell that story to anybody who comes and either buys or eats or anything that we cook with that kuni pork. So that'll be cool. So I told you I would show you this other garden space, and this is it. So this is our herb and tea garden, and we're basically going to be using this to grow all of the herbs for ourselves and for the goats. And then we're going to try to plant some teas in here, and I believe we're going to be bringing out our lemon trees when it's during the warm season and put them out here as well. But this is going to be about 400 and some odd square feet, so I think it will be more than enough space for us to really practice our hand at doing herbs and teas, but we'll have to see how that goes. So in reference to piglets, we've got one piglet that is on the ground that's a little bit small. We have been contemplating what we're going to do about this pig. My first thought was let nature take its course and we'll figure it out as we go along. If it dies, it dies. But then of course I have a soft spot, so I've been trying to bring it in, feed it some milk that we have in the fridge, and we'll see how it goes. I'm not 100% sure how it's going to react to that, but it's just been an interesting past couple of weeks with puppies on the ground, pigs on the ground. We've got the processing going on, and me selling sourdough and focusing on the garden we were talking about today. There's definitely a lot going on, and I think we're a little stressed. We're a little overwhelmed, but that's okay. Not exactly the season of rest I think some people imagine, but I think this happened last year. We had babies during like the winter time, and it wasn't exactly the season of rest that we had planned. But that being said, we would not trade it for anything, so we're going to keep moving forward and keep bringing you along for the ride. So for that, I appreciate you guys for joining us today, but I am going to call this video quits. So I will leave you guys on some cute puppy video, and until the next video, guys, we'll see you in the next one, and thank you for watching.